Hello there. This is from as far as I can determine a piece of slate, and I've been testing this stone over and over again, trying to determine how far I can go with this stone, whether I can finish with it. I've got some pretty good edges on it. They've all been shave ready, but they haven't been quite as keen and as sharp as I have come to prefer them. You have to understand that uh, I shaved on lapping film edges for a long time, and they're crazy sharp edges. And so, it has to be a really, really super sharp edge, or it's kind of lacking for me. Although I have learned there's a difference between super sharp and comfortable. You can go from super sharp to harsh really fast. So what I'm going to do, since I'm pretty sure this is slate, I'm pretty sure because I've tried it several times that this will slurry. And I've taken this blade, which is a gold $1.66. I just took some acetone and took the little 66 emblem or whatever you want to call that off of there because I think it's ugly. This is not the same one that I'm testing the longevity of the hone on. That one still has the gold dollar. Wow, I got to be careful with that. That one still has the gold dollar emblem on it so that I know the difference between the two. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise a slurry on this stone with this DMT card. It'll take a bit longer than, say, my Shobu to really get a slurry going, but not too long. So you can see it's already trying to form. I don't know if you can see or not, but I can. And I'm going to try to get a fairly heavy slurry going, or maybe more like a medium slurry. With this. And I'm going to just treat it like any other stone that I would slurry with. And just see what I can get. Because I've not tried a slurry on this before. So I took this edge. I went back, killed it on the glass jar. And now, I went back up to 3K. So I'm just going to use a slurry. See what I can get. And I'll do this until I feel like I'm done. And then I will go on. Oh man. Then I will go on clean water, plain water. Or I may just finish up on a very misty slurry and say done with it. Then I'll probably do a hanging hair test. And depending on how that goes, that will determine whether or not I'll go to a pasted strop or not. I may do that. What was that? Oh, that's my big lapping plate. But that'll determine whether or not, sit up there, big boy. That'll determine whether or not I'll go to the Crocs or not. But the thing of it is I've seen several videos of guys with different types of slate stones on YouTube, and they all that I've seen say that they're getting good results with it, and they're stones they got off of eBay and all that kind of stuff. And I know that some of the Welsh stones are slate. I believe there's a stone floating around that everybody seems to think is really nice called a dragon's tongue. That's a slate. Pretty sure that I believe it's ILR. Yeah, Imperial La Roja. That some people seem to swear by is also a slate. Certainly looks like slate to me from the videos and the pictures that I've seen. And I just kind of feel like, wow, it's getting really sticky. The razor's grabbing the snot out of the stones, grabbing the living snot out of the razor. So I think, like I said, don't have a lot of experience with slate. Just it's definitely shaving arm hair. Let me look at it under a loupe. But I mean, it's sticking. I may try a couple more passes, depending on what my loupe is telling me. Stand back. That's typical of the edge that I seem to get with this stone. A nice foggy kind of edge, sort of like the I'm gonna slurry again just to see. a nice foggy kind of edge, sort of like my Shobu gives me. I'm going to slurry one more time. Just a nice light kind of slurry. Nothing fancy, nothing big or strong. I want to thin that out a bit more. Let's try it again. And it's already trying to stick again. Now the stiction that everybody talks about, I don't know if it means anything or not. I've said it before, but this is really sticky at the moment, but I'm going to try to continue to hone and maybe push past it. Try some plain water after I keep getting the grind past that shoulder or past this piece because it's a small stone. When I do, I'm not honing my edge. But anyway, I haven't tried this. I've tried everything else with this stone. So another thing I'm noticing on this, and I don't know, it's got to be an optical illusion because the entire edge is perfectly polished from this stone from heel to toe, but on my 1K and my 3K, you could clearly see the water breaking over the edge of this blade all the way up and down. And now it seems like it's not. It seems like I'm not seeing that. Well, now I see it, but it seems like when the slurry, maybe it's when the slurry gets dry. Not sure. But there for a second it wasn't doing that, and I couldn't understand why, and that's sticky because it was doing it before. So alright, let me blast that again. Sorry, but I mean, in my experience right now working with a new, man, that's just lovely. Working with a new hone, or a hone that I'm not really, that I'm still trying to figure out. There you go, that's what I want to say. That's gorgeous. A stone that I'm still trying to figure out. I want to loop it a lot so that I can. Okay, let's go with plain water. And very, very light strokes. But with a stone that I'm trying to figure out, I want that loop. I want to be able to see what's going on, how well the edge is being honed, polished, what that edge looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hone like this until I start getting stiction. And what I'm doing, Like I said, I have doubts about the stiction, and you guys have, I've mentioned it in other videos, but you know what? Here's the thing. I believe that you ought to try everything, and you ought to take everything into account. And there are men that have honed longer than I have, especially on natural stones. I've honed for 2.5 years, or more than that. In April of 2017, it'll be 3 years. Because I started honing the same time I started straight shaving. That's how I got a straight that was sharp enough to shave with. I honed it myself. But anyway, I've been honing a while. But there are guys out there with more experience in natural stones than I have. And they, great many of them, all say that some form of, when the razor starts sticking to the stone, gets that sticky kind of feel to it, then you know you're done, or you're almost done, or whatever. So the thing of it is, I'm going to take their advice and pay attention and see what I get. That's something that new wet shavers, this feels like there's something hitting my edge there, but I don't feel a blooming thing. Let me loop it again. That's what a lot of new wet shavers, new honers, whatever you're new at doing, forget to do sometimes. Nope, no nicks or divots, or I can't feel anything with my finger. So that's what a lot of beginners, everything, and there, it's gone now, forget to do, and the razor's getting sticky, water or not. Fail to do is pay attention to people that know more than they do, or have more experience at what they're doing. The guys that I'm talking about, they might not know any more than I do when it comes to honing techniques and stuff like that, but they have more experience on these natural hones. So the only natural hone I have experience on is the one that I learned to hone on as a kid, and the only stone I ever knew existed up until I started, except for like the carborundums and the silicone carbide stones, the cheap ones like that, until I started honing straight razors, and that's a all stone, Arkansas. But honing a knife on an Arkansas is like worlds apart from honing a straight on an Arkansas. I really would love to have a surgical black to try as a finisher. I don't have the money for it right now. But that's a rabbit hole that I probably won't go down, except for a finisher, an Arkansas finisher. I'd like to try a good Arkansas black finisher coming off of a synthetic hone, and just see what kind of edge that gives me. A little 2x6 would be just fine, and I know that Dan's Whetstones sells them. I just need to knuckle down and get one. But I have this. I have my cuticle. I'm still playing around with the cuticle, trying to see what I can get out of that. Now, I had stiction before. There's still a little bit. There it comes again. It disappeared for a minute, or got very mild. Don't know what that's all about. Anybody that knows, I'd appreciate any kind of insight into that you can give, but I'm going to call that done. And that's a really keen edge. Just using my thumb pad. Really nice. All right. I think I'll probably strop that up and see. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the honing. Bless you. Later.